Wait, why didn't we know that?
Everybody lies. They said they didn't smoke crack, but everybody lies. It's lupus. It's never lupus.
It's always lupus.
It's never lupus. It's actually because your husband is cheating on you with your...
Or it turned into a wolf.
Both. It's when you turn into the rapper Yellow Wolf. And then it's because your wife was cheating on you with her fucking
seriously though,
yoga
it is
teacher.
like it's always like a choice between 5 different diseases. They mention them like 1,000 times.
The reason I like shows like that, procedural like that, and Becca loves Bones, and shows like Law and Order or like. Whatever, anything like that. Yeah. Fucking CSI. Just the cool thing about those shows, it's called procedurals. It's like a thing happens, and then we watch the steps to them solving the thing, whether it be a cop or a fucking. It could be anything. Could be a procedural.
A rapper,
and they're called procedurals probably more for the storyline being the same procedure.
Yeah, you go through, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about those shows, what I like about them, is that's not what the show's about. The show's about the characters, you know, and like arcs and shit. And
that's the whole reason you're watching it. Is because
it's a fucking soap opera.
It's like a soap opera.
It's a soap opera
in between. Or no, on top of like this, this structure.
Is there a love story in House?
There's always love stories.
5 different
fucking
ones.
House and Cuddy and fucking. There's always.
And
do they deal with
fucking Foreman and 13?
Do they deal with his drug addiction?
It's always his drug addiction.
Oh man!
Until it's not, and
that's the most interesting part of the entire show is House's addiction.
When you get deep into it, like he goes to a fucking insane asylum for like a few episodes. It's like
those were cool.
Criminal Intent, Law and Order Criminal Intent with Vincent D'Onofrio, also cool for the same reason, because his characters are like fucked up and crazy.
Yeah, they do like a Cuckoo's Nest like season almost, where he's in a mental ward.
It's only, I think it is almost a whole season, but it's the guy that created Hamilton is in that episode. He's like his annoying
Miranda.
Yeah, his annoying roommate.
Miranda?
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel. That was what?
Yeah, I didn't realize
Hamilton?
that until and he raps and shit in that too. Which it was way before.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
it was cool.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow. He's a cool guy.
I don't. That's the only thing I've seen him in his house, and I just remember. You know,
I only knew that because I listened to the
WTF. Yeah. I listened to that.
Yep. And I
was great.
Was like, oh, this dude's voice sounds familiar, and I didn't put a face to it, and I was like, holy fuck, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they talk about him being in House?
I don't even think they mentioned that at all.
Okay.
But like, that's why I know who he is.
Yeah.
But
I've done that with some actors before, where like you just hear their voice, and you're like, and they're like a voice actor for a cartoon. You just notice the voice. You're like, that sounds so fucking familiar.
I'm pretty good at voices and faces too, like just recognizing people from films.
Yeah.
I try for it to not like take me out completely of like when I
get excited.
Lego
like
Batman,
if I see it, I'd like need to like nail it down. If I can't do it just from memory, I need to like IMDb that.
Because I won't be able to think of anything else. You know, like that's what I'm saying. I try not to let it take me out of the story.
I've like ruined entire orders at or Jared's for
Gerald's.
Jared. No, Jared's. Yeah, it's Jared. No,
Gerald's.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, all right. Never mind. The point I was gonna say doesn't even matter anymore. Oh shit.
All right.
Are we?
To the Hair Club for Movies.
Welcome.
My name is Michael.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Drew.
This week, it was Andrew's pick.
Yeah, my pick. Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant.
Oh, what a bummer.
We have an incoming call.
Oh, we're recording at my parents' house, and I forgot about one small hurdle.
Just hit the red button.
Give me a moment. I'm going to pause it. Yeah, so...
Wow.
Yeah, we're a little displaced here. I'm watching my parents' house, and I forgot they still have a landline.
Yeah. Well, I forgot, too. Even
we traveled back to 2003.
Well, do your parents still have landlines?
I remember my mom calling me and making a point to tell me about. She was like stressed because they were going to get rid of the landline, and she was so attached to the phone number because she'd had it for like 20 years or something.
Oh yeah,
but they don't have it any. Oh, they don't have it anymore.
The phone number we have here, they've had at least my whole life, and I think my sister's life.
I think my mom and my dad growing up, they had the same number. They had the number before I was born.
I've had the same cell phone number my whole life since I was.
Me too.
Since I got my phone when I was 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of.
Whoa. From 16 till now, you still have the same number?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How does that happen?
We've just always had the same carrier, so it's easy.
Okay. Yeah. You've just been super loyal to that.
I've had
whatever.
Damn. Probably like 5 numbers.
Yeah.
I've had like random
I've still had the same number, but I obviously didn't have a phone as long as you did. Like, I've had it since 2008, I think. Same number.
I remember I was going to Disney World with the high school marching band, and my parents got me a cell phone for the trip.
Nice.
Because they wanted me to make sure I could call.
Yeah.
And if I got lost, be able to call people.
Wow, that's
they had faith in you.
Why didn't they just give you a beeper, a pager?
I don't know. I think it was pagers were on their way out. Yeah.
Pagers.
I don't really get how pagers work.
A pager is just.
Hey, I'm gonna call you on this thing so you can call me on
exactly.
another thing.
That's I've never understood.
I think you could send little messages
unless
too,
numbers.
You could hit in numbers. So if you're an obvious code is 911. Emergency, get to a phone right now.
There were codes that you could put people knew either in between themselves or they were common. It's like leet almost.
Like a message if I paid you, it means this.
Or if I paid you 1397, that's a code for fucking we got the Burger King.
Whoppers on the way. Yeah. Get your mouth ready.
Oh my god.
Because that's how much it costs, and that's how much you gotta give me because we've got a lot of Burger King.
Yeah.
Anyways, I remember I think the Iron Giant had these toys at Burger King back in the day. I feel like one of the chains definitely gave them out.
What studio made this movie?
DreamWorks, wasn't it?
DreamWorks?
Yes.
I mean, Brad Bird went on to direct for Pixar.
Pitzer.
Yes, he did The Incredibles.
Yeah, he's done some of the best Pixar movies too.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize he was he was like an animator.
Oh no, he one of the trivia things I was going to mention last week is that he personally animated
the
scene between Hogarth and Dean when he's hyped up on coffee.
Yeah,
Coffeezilla
I read that in the trivia. Now that I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, Brad Bird's movies are good because he's a competent animator.
Yeah, he's a filmmaker.
Yeah,
I don't want to draw parallels here, but I like Miyazaki.
Yeah,
he's in it from soup to nuts.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So should we give a synopsis?
Yeah, a synopsis. Yes,
it's E.T. but with a robot.
That's it right there. Boom.
I mean,
well, not
much.
necessarily.
There's a great parallel to nuclear disarmament.
Disarmament.
Mm-hmm. And in E.T., I don't believe E.T. dies.
E.T. goes back to his home planet. Doesn't save
He does
Earth.
kind of die. And then comes back.
You think you fucking definitely think he's going to die, but actually, spoiler: Iron Giant doesn't die. He can't really die.
He doesn't die, but it's the
wait. You don't think he dies?
He's made out of Legos.
No, he comes back.
So he can always. He's made out of magnetic Legos.
Yeah.
The last shot is
literally
him.
The last shot is
the last shot is him not only getting pulled back together, but smiling at the fucking camera, "Don't be sad, kids."
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed that part.
How did you? That's the zooming in.
That's such an uplifting part.
There's the orchestra swells.
No, I honestly, this whole movie to me is a build up to the moment at the very end.
This is.
And I think it's fine. It's like a singular vision from Brad Bird. I'm sure that scene was, because I think this is based on a novel.
Yeah.
And he was probably thinking about how he's going to do that scene correctly, and then built the whole movie around making it
at the end
perfect. Yeah,
I just realized another parallel is basically this is The Dark Knight Rises, but with a robot.
What? No.
Yes.
Well, I think you're drawing on how there's only a few story archetypes that we just redo over and over.
Yep.
Again. Yeah.
That's true. Think about The Dark Knight Rises. At the end, it's like
Batman doesn't murder everyone.
I'm just saying,
but he does get that bomb, and he flies
does get the bomb, and then at the end,
that's not the whole movie though. That's
yes,
just
it is.
That's all I remember.
That's all I remember.
Okay, whatever.
I remember being annoyed by them ending it the way they did. This movie, actually, you know what? Here's finally. We're going to talk about The Dark Knight Rises.
No, we're talking about Iron Giant. Jesus.
Finally.
So the Iron Giant, we should really give us.
Yeah, I'll do the summation. Like,
so do it.
You were talking about that. All right.
Interrupting him.
So there's a small town and a small family in that town. A son and a mom live in a home together that doubles as a hotel-esque kind of thing. I don't even know, bed and breakfast sort of thing.
They just had
I really think they were just renting
a room for rent. Sorry,
yeah. It was in 1957.
I always consider it's still at that.
It was a different time because
did you say 57?
57 is I think is what I read.
The time is very important for the film.
Okay,
too.
yeah.
Because
yes, it is.
Yeah, it was people are in fear of the fucking Cold War.
The Cold War, yeah.
I have a feeling the Red Scare, like the McCarthy era, was probably still.
Of course. Yeah. That was the heat of it. Was 50.
That's kind of the whole crux of the movie. Like that, the time is important.
Yeah.
But I guess it would kind of probably work now, except it'd be like also Russian.
Yeah, I guess
or North Korean.
Well, North Korean probably.
They don't have. They'd have like a clunky robot made out of shoeboxes and shit.
Lonely kid.
They
never show him like with friends.
No, they make a point of actually showing him in a classroom where they don't necessarily like him.
Yeah.
He's like peers or whatever. And he likes a lot of stories, comic books. He has a shitload of comic books. Watches like old movies of like, monster movies, late night sci-fi shit. And one night he's watching a late night sci-fi movie.
Sci-fi shit?
Late night sci-fi shit. When his mom is working late at a restaurant.
Yeah.
At the restaurant she works at.
Also a single mom.
Single mom, yeah. I said that.
E.T.
Anyway.
Oh, that's great, actually.
Anyway.
They never talk about where the dad went in E.T. either. Really.
Damn.
Because everybody knows. Divorce. Died in the war. Died in the war
is probably way cooler. Anyway, so he's watching TV when all of a sudden the TV goes out and he gets really angry. He looks up on his roof.
I get so mad too.
Who wouldn't? Realizes that the antenna's gone. And then he looks into the forest.
Not just broken, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's damn gone.
Which gives him reason to look at some tracks of some kind into the forest. He gets super psyched because he's just watching a Space Invaders movie. So he's thinking, this is my chance to go fight some aliens. Or like at least, be an investigative person.
Oh, yeah.
Goes out to...
Tapes a flashlight to his BB gun.
Yes.
Goes on out with
foolproof defense. Yeah. And he follows the tracks to a power station where he... lo and behold, finds that this isn't a fake plaything. He's staring at a giant robot attacking the power station. Yeah. So he's already jazzed and scared.
Jazzed.
Yeah, jazzed. And
pulls the trumpet out.
The giant tries to eat the metal of the power station and gets zapped and starts to scream and he's clearly in distress. Hogarth's running away out of fear, but then goes back and saves him because he realizes he's in distress.
There's a very obvious, large... singular on-off switch on the side of the power station.
Yes. Those exist.
They exist, for sure.
They exist.
It's just like a breaker. It's like a breaker.
It's just one breaker, though. It's simple.
Yeah.
There was simpler times.
Yeah.
So he saves the robot. The robot falls unconscious. He climbs on the robot, notices there's a little dent in his head, and then the robot comes back to life, and that's when Hogarth runs away. Finally into the middle of the road where his mom finds him, and Hogarth looks behind him. The giant's not there anymore. And he tries to explain...
The giant is very lithe for something so big and bulky.
Yes.
He's good at
very
sneaking away
but
somehow.
Maybe he's got
they lived in the Redwood Forest or something. They were some tall-ass trees. Yeah, anyway, so Hogarth tries to explain this to his mom and his friends in school... And word gets around eventually of this giant metal creature incident thing, but no one's really taking it seriously.
And then at the same time, don't forget about the government investigator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He only comes because of all this talk, and especially I left out in the way this movie begins with an old man on a boat who thinks he's seeing a lighthouse, and it turns out to be the robot before all these incidents. Standing in the ocean. He runs into it, tells the whole town, kind of like Hogarth, and no one believes him.
Yeah.
But he did mention that he called the government, and the government sends their goofiest, most ill-equipped agent to cover the most goofiest...
Well, they probably didn't believe him.
The goofiest story, yeah. Like, it's clearly they sent this person because they didn't take it seriously at all.
Yeah.
They just had to respond
No one
to the
likes
call.
this guy because he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole. And this guy shows up and puts it together that something is happening here, and that the kid might know something because he goes to use a phone at Hogarth's house just for, just out of, coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's in there, he notices that he hears Hogarth's name and realizes that a BB gun he found at the scene, the BB gun that Hogarth had, has his name on it.
Hog
So
Hug.
then he Hog.
Hog.
So he gets involved, and long story short, Hogarth tries to hide the giant, cannot do it, and then eventually the army does show up. And he tries to protect Hogarth, and then eventually thinks that Hogarth dies.
Mm-hmm.
Giant robot goes into attack mode, starts killing everyone. Military goes, aha, he is dangerous, starts firing at him, and then eventually
10,
Hogarth comes back to life, convinces
9,
the giant to
7,
be good, and they fire a nuke at the
6,
missile, a nuke at the
5,
giant. The giant goes into space,
4,
destroys the nuke, saving the town.
3,
Movie's
I think
over.
the target
2,
of the nuke is
1.
The
the giant, but he's in the center of town,
Yes.
and he puts it together.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have said that, but there was a countdown.
Yeah, it was running long.
It was a synopsis, but I'd wager that was the only synopsis where I tried to actually, do a synopsis.
You got all the beats.
Superman.
You got hit
I
all
tried.
the beats.
I tried.
There were some beats.
yeah.
broader strokes next time.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine too.
It sucked. Do it again.
I thought it was fine too. Maybe I should be in charge of the keyboard next time.
Hey, bring your own
Anyway,
keyboard.
I mean, obviously it has a lot of ET-esque-ness to it and Super 8-esque-ness.
Yeah, well, they're
Ooh.
all pulling from
The same.
it's a
I think they're all pulling
A
from that. That scene when he's just watching those old black and whites,
Mm-hmm.
Brain Monster or The Blob. They're all pulling, fucking Spielberg was pulling from, The Blob, but not, in a direct way. It's just, here and there, certain beats, certain character archetypes, and, definitely time era. Or era.
And I think movies certain sci-fi movies there are classics The Blob, fucking Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
Yeah.
whatever movies like that.
Yeah.
Where it's basically just people screaming and running from a thing and being
Yeah.
afraid of the thing.
And they were really just flexing their special effects muscles.
Yeah,
They,
but then
they just wanted to make the monsters cool.
Yeah,
They
exactly,
wanted
yeah.
to showcase
it started narrowing in and focusing on singular people in that situation, and
Yeah.
Like
I
the
don't
day
really
the
know what
Earth-
my point was.
Well,
but-
I think sci-fi can be useful in as a moral tale. You know,
Yeah.
and the Day the Earth Stood Still is a good example of old school sci-fi where they had a message to tell people.
sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what
This is one I noticed when I was watching this movie. We didn't talk about the character Dean, who's this
No.
cool artist guy that lives in a scrapyard.
yeah.
Ends up finding out about the giant and helps Hogarth and the giant.
Yeah.
He and Hogarth are talking early on, and he says to Hogarth, "You decide who you are,"
yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the primary sentiment here.
Yeah.
That you can be a gun
You are who
or
you choose
or a
to be.
Superman,
Yeah.
that and the Iron Giant.
That's
Expresses
such a
that.
good. That's such a good theme in this
Yeah.
in a kids movie. It's not
Yeah.
even a kids movie, but it's
Well,
just
it is.
about a kid.
It is. It's just a very good kids movie.
It's a very
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
The thing that caught me was
It's still rated
That
G,
is
sure.
Yeah.
that is the sentiment you can take from it, and there's also the fact of do you deal with death?
Yeah.
Heavy shit. I was just thinking of when I was watching this, man, if you're a parent and you take your kid to go see what seems to be a fun robot movie, a whatever, and then you're oh, now I have to. They're gonna wonder. Maybe the first time they ever think about what death is, the concept of death is from the fucking Iron Giant. I'm just thinking about that things
That's
like
gotta
that
be a
get
good way
planted
to
in
be
there.
introduced
no,
to
I
death.
definitely
because
agree.
it has
it's-
a message with
You
it.
can protect your kids from it as long as you want, but it's
Yeah.
better that they
Yeah.
start to understand it early on. you
I
know?
think it's cool, but it's also whoa, fuck. You're a
Yeah.
parent, great. Now I'm just gotta fucking wait for this
Now
movie to
my
be over to
kid's
have this
fucking
the first
crying,
conversation today.
and I'm crying. Because,
Yeah.
end
the
of
fucking
the movie.
crying.
The first movie I saw that introduced like unabashedly death, like, and the idea of it was The Land Before Time, that animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
The very first one. When the T-Rex, like, kills
very early.
Littlefoot's mom.
Doesn't that happen, like, early on?
Oh, yeah, like, within the first
like
5 minutes, Bambi as well.
I think,
But Bambi's different, though, because his mom runs away and you hear a gunshot, and you're
it's not like...
It's not... You know something happened, but with Land Before Time, his mom is talking to him as she's dying in the rain, and then dies. And then he's just... There's this really dramatic pullback where her body's not moving, and he's just, like... talking to her, and then eventually very depressed walks away. Yeah. That was like it, because it wasn't confusing to me. It was like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
You stop talking, you stay still, you're dead.
You sleep for it. What's coming to mind when you said that was fucking The Neverending Story with fucking Atreyu. Slowly just sinking into the fucking tar pit. Yeah. Have you seen that, Andrew?
I haven't.
That's one of those movies you haven't seen, but you're aware of that scene.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched that movie in ages because
that's fucked, and it's so long. Like maybe it's only a couple minutes, but it feels so long because it cuts back to the kid reading it and shit too, and he's crying, and it's like screaming, and it's slowly.
A horse or a dog is like so,
and the horse has no idea what's going on. It's so fucking sad. That is crazy. So fucked. That's probably. I mean, that's the one that comes to mind.
There's a scene in The Iron Giant that is. Do you remember in Chinatown how they very brilliantly did this very throwaway scene where her head hits the steering wheel, beeps the horn, like when they're talking,
and it cuts away and it just
and
are you talking about the very end? Yeah,
like in the middle of the movie. Yeah, it was a great foreshadow of like this dramatic reveal at the end. In The Iron Giant, they find this deer that had been shot by hunters.
Oh yeah,
and the Iron Giant doesn't know what death is. I mean, and this is Hogarth trying to explain death to the Iron Giant. He very lightly touches the deer, and it just does this little lifeless flop.
Yeah.
And, it's really just subtle. But then Hogarth, later, when the Iron Giant thinks Hogarth's dead, that same little touch and flop happens.
Oh, and that's what cues him.
Yeah, it's just like you can tell visually that it's the same exact, the connection's being made.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this giant is not smart.
No.
It's dumb.
Well, it's not.
But it's clever enough to remember, at least.
I don't even think we talked that dent. I mean... The
dent...
It was probably, very specialized alien technology or something. And
it was programmed from the beginning to not have emotion and to just go straight for, like, power sources and metals and probably to be that creature that it ended up being.
Where is it from? Do we find out?
No. It's just a invader from space.
Is it from space?
Yeah,
well, it came from the sky.
Well, but there is the opening shot is the fucking Russian satellite floating around the Earth.
Sputnik, yeah. It's not. There's no way.
No, I think it is left open-ended, but I assume it's from
when it turns into the murderous robot, it has like that
lasers and shit.
The whole reason that they chose for the robot to be computer animated is the fucking the climax.
That part,
because it like
when I was a kid and saw like the design of that robot, I was like I thought it was so fucking cool.
It still is cool. Like even cool, seeing it now, like that because it's all cell animated except for the robot, and even the robot is in some scenes.
But they did the robot like aesthetically to still look like
the same.
And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The design itself is great because it's so different than the other robots, big giant robots that I was used to.
Yeah,
you know?
It looks,
and it doesn't look dumb. It looks awesome.
It's iconic. It's even though it's not like not a lot of people talk
like
about
the
this
Rocket
movie a
Man.
lot. But it's exactly
Rocketeer.
Rocketeer, that's what
the Rocketeer.
Dude, the fucking Rocketeer.
The Rocketeer was the shit.
It does look like the Rocketeer with the eyes, the big round.
I kind of have that
eyes.
jacket because of the Rocketeer.
Oh, fuck yeah! I think I said that when I first time I saw you.
Andrew has a brown leather.
It's like a welder's jacket.
Kind of because that's exactly
what he's wearing. I think.
Yeah.
But
the giant robot.
The animation.
Oh, the animation. Yeah.
Because the animation feels warm and it feels like nostalgic because they're going for that time, but it's because of they use the same techniques as like old Looney Tunes, like with the instead of a hard black outline, they use the shade color.
A slight off
so
color,
like,
whatever that tone is.
Yeah.
Really?
So like for like, if you have like a peach, white person's skin, they have like a dark, like on
just
the
a slightly darker peach as the
but
color.
it's usually the shade color because there were no real shadows. They didn't use shadows at all, pretty much, except for like dramatic shadows.
Yeah.
But like on the characters, there were no real shadows.
Yeah.
So they use the outline to like show the roundness, and they do the same thing on the robot. But then that in the gray, that way when something's moving, the gray is still a solid color, and it moves within that, so it has that.
So it gives you the illusion
Yeah.
of a third dimension.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
That's
It's fucking
cool.
so cool because it blends like so fucking seamlessly that way.
And this came out in '99.
And it was the first one to be computer and fucking cell animation combined like that.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it holds up to the point where you're never even thinking about the robot being different than the cartoon.
Well,
yeah.
It's because
is that always in your foreground?
No,
your
I agree. It holds up.
I was like trying to differentiate the shots because there are shots like they painted the robot too. They only use the CGI when he's moving in such a way that
clearly.
whatever. There's like a shot where it's like from Hogarth's point of view looking up, or somebody's looking up, and it's obviously, or maybe not obviously, painted. But it looks painted, but whatever.
Like when he's like holding the car, pretending to be the billboard, or like when he's pretending to be Dean's art
when he's holding the
installation.
billboard, he kind of moves in a 3-dimensional way, in kind
afterwards,
of on the axis, that makes me think, But it's hard, as I'm saying, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
but
true.
I feel like nothing has done it better since then because there hasn't. When was the last? Besides this, when was the last fucking cell animated movie that was like not an art movie?
Yeah.
Like when? I think this is
Disney has started doing it again, though.
Not cell fucking animated. Not true fucking hand painted.
Okay.
I mean,
what am I trying to say? Like,
does Miyazaki still do?
No.
Or
I
that
don't
Studio
know.
Ghibli?
Ghibli,
actually.
they made Ponyo, and then after that, I feel like it's all digital.
They made.
I'm talking about painting on fucking plastic.
They made The Borrowers. Basically, they called it something else.
Oh yeah. Was that cell animated?
It looked.
I don't know.
I didn't see it. I just saw the trailer.
I'm
for
throwing
it.
it out.
Pretty traditional.
I mean, there's an answer somewhere, but like, but it's just crazy. Like this was a huge movie.
Yeah.
This was a fucking huge movie.
Yeah.
Why do studios have to just invest into fucking that polished fucking Pixar model?
I'll tell you why. Because
they're gonna make money
easier.
on it.
That's easier in process to correct and not to.
Yeah, but
to like, I guess, try to trust, because with cell animation you have to know the story way before you start making like production.
Yeah,
you have to have the full like storyboards, beginning to end, all the lines like in place, the beats, and then you can start drawing and animating.
It's
because
fucking art.
You have to,
why do we have to? Well, that's too.
It takes too much time.
It's too hard.
Well, no,
Fuck
it takes
that
too much
shit.
time. People want to just crank these movies out.
Well, they make
especially Pixar.
they make stop motion. They've been making more and more stop motion animation, which is the same, if not more. Probably
it's
more
probably
work.
More. It's probably more work.
I mean, I just don't understand why. Like, you can't make movies unless they're gonna make. I know that you're making money and it's a business, but there's still a market for.
Well, I think there's
people that are willing to
many
invest in
hours
that.
of labor involved in this that it requires a big studio, and then the big studios are less likely to do something that will cost them more money.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah,
because that's something that's gone. It's just like never like. You look at Snow White, and like, dude, you can't deny it.
Yeah,
like
it's amazing.
You can't deny it, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked.
Yeah.
Like Alice in Wonderland, the way, especially when you see like the rotoscoping, the old school rotoscoping where they shot the real girl, and then they use the fluidity of the movie,
of like the dress to like
nothing fucks with that.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about Toy Story 3.
You know why? Because it really is.
You know what I mean? Like
because it really is art.
Because it's exactly
it's moving art.
Literally every single frame is a fucking work of art.
Yeah.
Like fuck you. Why don't you want to see that? Like, because I understand we live in this culture of like just feed me information.
Yeah.
But like, bitch. Like I don't know, man. Like,
well, that's one of the reasons I like this movie so much. Like, this is one of my top movies. It's maybe my top. I don't know about top animated movie, but it's so up there. It so deserves to be like one of the. I don't know. I revere it.
No, I agree. I think
story and execution.
There's almost no fat to this movie.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Under an hour and a half long.
It's an hour 26. Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
and it's just perfect.
Yeah, it jumps right into the story.
Yeah,
and
everything is just moving forward.
Yeah,
it's a great family movie, which we don't see often. You know, like movies that are. Also, they're great for everybody,
Truly
and they're actually really good.
Lego
funny.
movies.
This movie was funny.
Yeah,
there were so many funny parts in this movie. Specifically,
now what do we hate about it? Let's talk about that side.
I probably hate. Oh, I tell you, the only note that I wrote, and I didn't bring my things, is we all watched this on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it was the same version. I saw there was a 40-minute longer or whatever 20-minute longer version, like a 100-minute edition or whatever. Yeah, it came up. I searched for it on Roku, and it came up. So look for that.
There's scenes I don't know about.
So it was either 20 or 40 more minutes.
Holy anyways. No fucking way it's 40 more minutes. No way.
It's 20 more minutes. I think it was 100 minutes. So
I need to see
86 minutes is where it is now, so 14 more minutes.
Because the version I watched is the only version I've ever watched.
Yeah, well, there you go. You're welcome. Look it up.
Well,
and they had the 4K restoration that they released in theaters not that long ago.
Whoa.
Damn. Right. But the audio mix was so fucking uneven. I am an asshole about this.
Really? The Netflix version.
Jesus Christ. The fucking people are talking. It's real fucking. So I have to turn it up to like 50.
Yeah.
And then anything else happens and it's loud as fuck. The score's loud as fuck. And then some people are loud and then a guy in the distance is quieter. The mixing was so fucking weird.
Okay.
I hate that. I'm just like an
that
asshole
sometimes
about that.
gets me, but just because I'm trying to not, I would just blast it like
normally,
but I can't.
I like. Even if I'm alone and I don't care about neighbors, whatever, I don't want it to be at like a blaring because that's distracting.
Well, neither do I really, but
it's just when like people are talking, it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It's so
I will say I heard a few more things in the background. Score! Like how the movies cut between scenes, like they're going from action to like
people talking and then. The Dark Knight, all those movies are the same fucking way. I love those movies, but they're only mixed for theatrical release. They're not. I don't feel like there's a remixing of the audio to make it more flat for like a fucking home.
I will say there are on better sound systems. There is a way to. It's like there's a limiter.
Yeah. Well, I'm just watching it out of the TV. I don't. It's a fucking big. I don't need that.
I don't need that.
I just need it to be evenly mixed. God damn it.
Well, and speaking of evenly mixed,
we should probably
mix it up. More trail mix.
Well, I have some. I have a trail mix.
Trail mix.
You really do.
You got a little pouch pocket.
Nature Valley.
No, it's Nature Valley.
You made the dog.
All right, that's enough. Clearly back. We're definitely
back. All right, we're back with the Hair Club, talking about the Iron Giant.
Now, this is
darn.
We were speaking about picking up on actors and their voices when you can't tell who they are. The Iron Giant is Vin Diesel, which is crazy because when I was a kid, I had no idea.
He was really good at playing people that only have one or two lines.
Monosyllabic.
Yeah, and that's why he went on to do Groot.
Groot. Yeah, from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love Vin Diesel. As a human, because he is just like a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
That kind of made himself into his D&D character.
Yeah.
And now he lives as his own avatar. And
I just like someone.
But in reality, he's just a.
You can tell he gives a shit.
Well,
about,
I just mean
that's fun.
He's a fucking nerd, as like the biggest dork in Hollywood, probably. And
Elijah Wood's a nerd too.
Yeah.
Well, but what I'm saying is,
you're thinking of the biggest nerd who looks like him.
I'm just saying those Pitch Black movies or whatever.
Yeah.
Those movies are fully produced by him because he loves that shit. Those stories.
That first Pitch Black, the very first
movies are fucking ridiculous.
I like the first one.
No, but the Pitch Black one was good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It was very good.
But all the Fast and the Furious, those movies are fucking. Those are dork movies. Like really, those are. want to race cars, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but I was listening to a podcast, and somebody was talking about Vin Diesel, and, like, they saw him drunk at a Hollywood party, and have, like, Vin Diesel character on, so he was just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like,
Oh, really?
like, that's not, he's not like this guy. He gets excited, and he turns into, like, fucking,
Like a fucking
the
nerd.
Jewish
Yeah,
nerd guy.
Like fanboy.
Is
Yeah.
he Jewish?
Yes!
What?
Yes, he's an
Diesel's-
Israeli Jew, I'm pretty sure.
Vin Diesel's Jewish?
Yeah.
He's got the nose, I guess.
Well, that's
Oh my
racist.
God, Andrew.
You brought it up.
No, he did not say anything negative
You said he
about
was
it.
Jewish. Having a Jewish nose is not negative.
Whoa,
Yeah,
dude.
it is. Yeah, it is.
That's fucked up,
Jewish
dog.
people have noses.
No,
Anyway.
no, they don't.
I could
Saying, man, I'm trying to have it make sense in my head because I don't see it.
I could be full of shit, but I'm pretty sure he's
He's bald as
No,
fuck.
so
Whatever.
Most Jews don't.
oh, stop
Get
it!
so bald.
Stop it!
Jesus. I think he made that choice. Anyways, Vin Diesel,
Also, most
monosyllabic.
Jews aren't as buff as... I'm just kidding.
God.
I watched Fiddler on the Roof, okay? I'm too stereotypical.
They all
My
just
vision...
Stand on their roofs
Yeah.
and dance and sing about.
They're all
Aren't they
about
Russian?
Tradition. Yeah, they're Russian.
Okay. Anyway, Vin Diesel, Groots.
Groot.
Another one, which was... I didn't realize until I researched this movie for this podcast, was Jennifer Aniston being Hogarth's mom.
Yeah.
I never put that
And
together.
the guy that plays Dean is like Vincent D'Onofrio or something.
No.
Wait, what? Never knew who Dean was.
Harry
Dean,
Connick Jr.
I can't imagine Dean being anyone else besides Dean.
Harry Connick
Like,
Jr.
I imagine whoever played him
He's a smooth.
has to look exactly like Dean.
Well, he does. You don't
Does he?
know who Harry Connick Jr. is?
No.
He's like a smooth, first of all, smooth, like Frank Sinatra type lounge singer.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
And, you know,
so, yeah.
cool guy.
Dean was
That
cool.
dude Harry Connick Jr. definitely wears sunglasses inside.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
He's so fucking cool.
By the way,
Diesel's
I'm kind of-
also, he stated that he is of ambiguous ethnicity.
Ooh.
So,
He-
His mother's background is English, German, and Scottish. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
projecting
so-
stereotypes upon him
You
like a
are.
fucking asshole.
You are, 'cause
I'm
you're
sorry,
a bad
Vin.
person.
Vin, I'm sorry.
I'm jealous. I kind of want exactly what Dean has. Maybe not living in the junkyard, but having access
They
to
don't talk
just-
about the smell.
Well, it's all scrap metal. There's no way
Probably
it could
smells
smell
like-
They're
that
still
bad.
gonna smell.
Smells like
You think?
drugs.
Well, think about like standing water. It's gonna be swampy.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Where's standing water?
I'm just
collecting
jealous.
in the
in his-
metal.
I'm just
Okay,
jealous
sure,
of
sure.
anyone who has like a warehouse-sized garage that they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
to.
Well, I'm sure his life that led to that probably wasn't the best. Because he lives in a pole barn now.
A pole barn. What do you mean?
Pole barn, like he lives in a fucking. That's where an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, like
that's
this
cool,
sort of
though.
like
It's cool. I think it's
Yeah.
cool. I think
Cool
it's cool,
fuck,
but
yeah.
I think some people will be like, "Well, that guy's a failure."
In that
especially
era,
down in the
That-
50s.
yeah, he was a beatnik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was a beatnik.
Yeah.
They said that name in the movie. What was it?
That guy probably smokes
Oh
hard
yeah.
drugs
Yeah.
like marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was
feel
a
like
beret for
late
sure.
at night they give him the vice of like drinking coffee because they want to like have his vice to be something
Yeah,
more
some-
acceptable.
Yeah.
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 Have you like you guys
That
know the
makes
movie
sense.
The Lost Boys?
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
but not always.
So
Their
in the-
vice, drinking blood.
No, in the film, the grandfather has a fridge full of root beer. And when they move in, he says, "You're not allowed to touch my root beer."
Yeah.
And that was a last-minute script change. He was supposed to
Wow.
be an alcoholic in the film,
He's just addicted to sugar.
but they changed it because they thought it was too dark.
You know what?
Yeah.
That makes
Too
him,
dark.
That makes
Yeah.
him go from being an alcoholic to being way weirder than an
Yeah.
alcoholic.
Don't touch my fucking
Don't
root
touch
beer.
my root
He
beer.
just got a real bad.
Even
he's-
somebody that loves root beer, you would think would normally want to share.
Yeah, be
He's got
okay.
diabetes,
Like,
and that's
come
how he
love
he
my
needs
root
his,
beer with
his sugar jolt.
It's just
Yeah.
way weirder to.
I just think it's funny
covet
in
your
Lost
root-
Boys. They think it's darker for the grandpa to be an alcoholic and stealing, teenage boys to become vampires that have no soul and suck
Yeah.
out the blood of humans for the rest of their
Yeah.
living existence.
Well,
is not as dark.
They had
Yeah.
darker elements in the script.
Yeah.
Initially, I mean, we
And
could do an
also,
episode on
there's,
Lost
like,
Boys,
gore
but
and
they
shit, right? Like they get,
Yeah.
they
It's a
murder
fucking
people.
vampire movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
murder.
Yeah.
but
They
alcoholism.
Alcoholism,
whoa,
you gotta
too real.
You gotta suppress that and make sure no one's aware.
well, at
of
least
that.
not in a protagonist. You know what I mean?
True.
Show it if it's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Not a
Fair
big
enough.
deal.
We don't want to show. We're not ready for the gradient,
complexity.
No,
the minutia of human life. Yeah.
No, not at all.
All right, so
we're ready for vampires.
Iron Giant. Speaking of
What's
minutia,
your favorite part of it?
My favorite part is the entire sequence of him
The
trying to
entire movie
Nah.
is my favorite.
fucking
the sequence of him trying
I
to
don't blink.
hide the hand, hide the giant robot hand that's in the house.
Oh, yeah.
He's hiding the giant in the shed, but the hand wanders into the house and is like watching TV.
Yeah.
And like goes into the bathroom. That entire sequence is awesome. Like when his mom's like at the dinner table and he's trying to just cross the hallway.
Yeah.
So he like throws a little coin to like distract his mom, but then that coin ends up like destroying like the shelf. I don't know why, but that scene makes me laugh.
I was
fucking time.
like, Penny, really fucking that shelf must have been on.
Just
by,
the way
like,
I just
it was
from
ready
an,
to fall.
from an animator's perspective, it's just a funny like gesture and
No,
like
it's
the
a
way
good,
they
it's a good visual gag. And
I wish they would have
the beats
used
in
a
between.
quarter. Say a quarter.
Whatever.
The penny, I just had a problem.
Or
well,
really-
pennies were heavier
Boy.
back then.
That's true because they were made out of.
Also,
They're
when
made out of real copper.
when
Real gold.
Kent gets his face caught in the door, that's fucking classic.
When does that happen?
Face.
When Hogarth is in the toilet and there's that giant thud because the hand falls out the window and the mom's like, "Is he taking a huge deuce?" Opens the door. There.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
that-
does
that's-
pull down
that's
his
very
pants
funny.
to like.
And he's got like toilet paper all over the
Yeah,
place.
he's like, "Mom," and then she's
jerking
like,
off
"Sorry."
in here!
Yeah, she's like, "Sorry," and Dean just is like looking like, "What the fuck?" And then she
Pops
closes
his
the
head
door
in.
right on his face.
Yeah.
And if you slow down the movie enough, you get to see 12 different awesome faces made in that one instance.
oh.
Little animated.
Aw, Easter egg.
Well, no, it's just like that's in animation when
Yeah.
you want to make something really funny.
Yeah.
You just go from extreme to extreme to extreme
Right.
every frame.
Yeah.
So when you play it really quick, it does look funny.
They're micro expressions
Exactly,
as like
yeah.
we would understand them
Yeah.
in real life. That's
Yeah.
great.
Like in Looney Tunes, there'd like sometimes be multiples where like you have 4 different eyeballs.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Like
it's
in
like
a
the
big-
head spinning or the head's
Exactly,
moving
yeah.
quickly. You
Yeah.
just show motion.
It's a way to make it look believable instead of having to spell it out
Yeah.
over a large period of time.
It's very like psychological. You
Yeah.
know, like they're
Yeah,
trying.
they just read on
they
instance
know how
as,
to get the reaction out of us. that they
exactly.
want.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
I mean, I hate to say the end, but the end is
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
to me.
iconic.
Yeah,
It's very good.
very good.
I mean, when he's like saying Superman, I mean, come on.
yeah.
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When he's like, it's just a shot, and he says Superman. I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
yeah, man. Yeah.
like I felt
the
maybe
whole
I didn't
movie.
want to cry, but I definitely felt like
Yeah,
my tears,
that
the
swell.
like the little like elves that are inside of my skull that control my tears were like,
Yeah.
what? We're ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting ready? But I was like, nah,
Yeah, you gotta hold it together.
because I'm a fucking
no, but
buff
that's
dude.
like evidence that like the entire plot and the theme of the movie it comes to that singular point at the very end. It's really, I love movies that can do that and do it like well.
Yeah, because
it doesn't have to make
I'm-
me cry, but if I can feel something for a moment at
Yeah.
the very end, that's all I want.
If the ending is good,
Yeah.
it will almost certainly make up for all the other flaws.
because that's all you're gonna take. That's
Yeah.
all you're gonna be talking about when
Yeah.
you leave the theater or
Exactly.
whatever. It's like,
I've
yeah.
said
If
it
they can
I've
pull
said
off
it
that
before.
finale.
The ending of
Yeah.
a movie matters so
I mean,
much.
Christopher
So
Nolan
much.
built his entire career on that.
Yeah,
His
what you walk
entire
away.
career. on
So
that.
does
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, well, he
Yeah.
built the foundation of a career on that.
Speaking of which,
With
did
like a real
anyone
nice
see
basement, too.
That movie that has come out, Split. Is that what it's called? His most
Oh.
recent.
No, I haven't
No, I
because
don't
it's Shyamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah,
I
But
don't
it's
care
also-
about. We have this guy's like psycho, but he's got 20 personalities.
And which one's good? Exactly. I'm like,
kinda-
I'm almost
Like
yeah.
we're gonna take this old trope and like just make it more extreme.
Yeah,
there we are.
I kind of know what's gonna happen. You know,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
it's not.
I
it's-
just don't
Or maybe I
care.
don't. Maybe I don't.
It
because
does have
is
the girl
Shyamalan.
from The Witch
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
I think,
Well,
right?
listen. I was like, "Yo, M. Night Shyamalan is the man." After I saw The Sixth Sense, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was even.
I
like,
even kind
you
of
know,
like some of his less popular movies.
Signs?
fucking
Yeah. Signs was
Signs
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
People shit
Village,
on it,
I was a
still
little.
like it.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" But then upon seeing it in, it's like this is kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Unbreakable is fucking rad.
Unbreakable's
Still
awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Still good.
Still good. I think people were just like, it's not Sixth Sense. I don't know how it
Yeah.
got maybe just
brushed
the timing.
under the rug.
Yeah.
because it was
bad
the-
timing.
Was it
could
right
be
after
huge.
The Sixth Sense?
Or it came out
Probably.
the same month as another sci-fi. It's like
Maybe it came out in 2001 because that was a bad year for every movie because of September 11th.
or it got overshadowed. Yeah.
by something similar.
Oh,
If the
yeah.
movie came out today, though, I feel like something.
Well, you know, they were
Can you
going to do a
another
trilogy.
one, but not worth it.
They're going to do a trilogy with Unbreakable.
They could have if they just came out with a little bit closer to now. I don't know. Anyway, great movie, but
Yeah.
The Happening. Fuck you. After The
Oh
Happening.
yeah, the fucking Happening.
I was so
forgot
psyched
about
for The
that
Happening.
movie. Oh,
because of the
Mark
trailer
Wahlberg.
with the
Yeah.
fucking combine.
fucking
chopping
plants
that.
are trying to kill us.
But then it's like the fucking plants. Oh, the fucking. Oh, the trees. Oh no. Ah, the fucking plants.
I just remember the scene where somebody's stuck in like this brick cabin, like in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
And there's like a pipe to the other place where they can talk, but they're stuck there.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
they
yeah,
can't
yeah,
go
yeah.
Oh,
outside.
I haven't seen this movie. They do shit like that,
Dude, it's
No,
fucking.
I mean that's
awful.
they had very. I feel like I've used the word iconic a lot today, but they're in the trailer. I remember these striking shots of people like committing suicide
Yeah.
because that's what the plants do.
Yeah,
They
make you.
they
commit
like
suicide.
make you, they drive you crazy and you
Yeah.
commit suicide.
the plants.
Yeah,
I wish
it's literally. Oh, the fucking plants.
they say that.
It is. It's kind of
No,
like
but I think there's a realization shot where Mark Wahlberg like, what? Oh, the plants are mad because we've been polluting the earth.
it's kind of like birds, but they should never have tried to explain.
It's the birds, but the
Yeah.
plants. You're
Like
right.
in the birds, the only reason that plot works is because there's no good explanation. So
Yeah.
don't even talk about
Yeah,
it. The
yeah.
birds, for some reason, try to kill people and
Yeah.
then they stop.
Yeah.
And that's a better movie
Yeah.
than like ever saying.
It'd be
Maybe
interesting
if he
if-
was like,
He's
it's
trying
the
to
pollen.
rationalize why.
Yeah.
This is
Well, that
happening.
was a fad during the time of trying to find an explanation that could fit in reality.
Yeah,
for
into,
every
like, our-
movie.
yeah.
like
Yeah.
every movie did that. I mean, around that time. What was that? Like
Fucking
2009 or something.
Avatar, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
in The Happening, if the name The Happening kind of makes
Could
it
be
sound
anything.
like it's ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like it's just a thing.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
basically-
The Thing.
It's kind of like that. Yeah, The Happening.
2008. Good call.
2008. Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
like.
Oh yeah, Zoe Deschanel's.
You're
in
right. If they didn't even reveal to you that it was the plants, if it was just a something going through
Yeah.
this town, like sweeping,
It would
through-
be a better movie.
It would be a better movie.
Even if it's still plants doing it, you don't know why.
Yeah.
That's
And-
the thing is like he was great at that balance with the Sixth Sense because like it's like with like albums or any like movies anything your first shit's gonna be you got your whole life to write it and make
Yeah.
it and then your sophomore album's gonna be shit
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
people have
People
expectations.
expect
Yeah,
you and
it's
they
a
want
shorter-
you to move quickly.
Shorter time.
Yeah, and if you're trying to base your whole
Recapture
shit
lightning.
on this twisty gotcha fucking thing,
Yeah.
then you better bring it.
you better fucking.
You better be
it.
Christopher Nolan on that shit.
I'm of a mind that if you are gonna start making movies, before you start making them, have like a cache of ideas from
The well.
your like
Your
like
well.
a well. Yeah.
That's
Well,
what they say.
I-
But you can only go back to the well to one. Look at Kevin Smith's career.
I mean, like at least this is what
Are you
I try
talking
and
about
do.
like he has no good ideas anymore?
No. I'm saying that was a bad example just because he says about himself. When I think of the well, quote
Yeah,
unquote,
uh-huh.
I think of Kevin Smith
Smith.
because he refers to himself going back to the well, which is just his cast of View Askew universe characters. Why he killed it because he felt. I love those movies, and I think
Yeah.
whatever. But
I think of Pixar when I think of My Well because they had ideas while they were making Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
They had like the idea for Wall-E, the idea for Up, the idea for Finding Nemo, like in the works and just like being
Yeah.
tossed around, and then they
Yeah.
eventually were fleshed out.
I think that works with anything. Like when I'm working, when I'm really in it, when I'm making stuff, when I'm making whatever, I like to work have a drawing going and a painting
Yeah.
and something else.
Yeah, I
and
do that
to
same thing.
to keep it going. So that makes sense. I think.
No,
that works
I
with
think
anything.
it's like anything else. Flexing that muscle.
Yeah.
You stop for too long, it's going to be harder.
if you don't use it, then
Speaking
you
of-
lose it.
Before we get too off track,
Oh yeah.
I wanted to talk about fan theories.
Well, first I guess
One-
we should give our.
Well, it's about the Iron Giant.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
It was a Reddit post asking about what people's favorite fan theories were. There was one about the Iron Giant I just read recently that the Iron Giant was the basis for the robots in oh shit, what's the
What? What movie? What's it about? Who's in it?
The big robot movie that came out recently that you don't like.
Rim.
Pacific Rim. Yeah. That this alien robot crashed here, and we reverse engineered the technology to make the robots in that movie. Because they look a little similar. But,
that's a stretch.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not.
Aren't those
there's
mechs,
only a
though,
few look
right?
similar. Like in Pacific Rim.
Well, yeah, the old Russian one is cool.
The old
it's
Russian
like very
one,
boxy and yeah.
Well,
if
things like
anything's
that,
the Iron Giant, that one's the Iron Giant.
things are like that's not okay. Iron Giant became before Pacific Rim, and kind of that model of a robot is so it's kind of like you think of an alien. Everybody thinks of the same thing of an alien because that is just an agreed upon, you know what I mean, like standard. Mm-hmm. And the robot in Iron Giant is like a pretty basic robot, and then that design was so sleek and so perfect that of course Pacific Rim wouldn't be surprised if they were referencing this. So it does not untrue necessarily, maybe, you know what I'm saying, but it's not like. I mean, whatever. It's not true.
I would like to believe
it's
that
interesting how that works.
Yeah,
the universe Hogarth was living in did not end up being the Pacific Rim universe.
No,
as well.
I mean it's fine. I just thought it was
they're so differently in tone. They're so different.
Yeah.
in tone.
I like movies that are, and then you find out that the director actually had something in mind. Like this was like an unofficial sequel to
like
something else.
Tarantino.
Yeah,
like his world, his alternate history. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
his. Much more.
I think violence. And I think that like for him probably helps him write and come up with things that aren't important like names and like you know, and but that way you can build it. It's like comic books. Mm-hmm. You have this character and then you find out like like Cable is fucking Cyclops' son, but from the future, so he's older, but he's from the future. Yeah, but doesn't matter.
Cable really Cyclops' son? Mm-hmm. Man, spoiler.
In the future. Whatever. I mean, whatever. Doesn't matter. He has a giant gun. I'm pretty sure he's like could be fucking
somebody's son.
It's it's either his or Magneto's
Cyclops
son.
had two brothers, right? That both died.
Summers. Fuck. There is another Summers kid. I don't remember. But anyway,
it's like super interesting about like storytelling or some interesting about like just humans in general, like why we find it more fascinating if particular characters are related in some way to other characters, like by blood. Yeah. Like if they knew each other, that's not as interesting as like, oh, that's his father. Oh shit, or is his father.
It's like soap opera shit. It's all soap operas.
Well, I mean like it's even like more ingrained. To me, I don't know. It's like there's something
that's
primal.
That's like an archetype.
Yeah, it's
story archetype that we just keep going back to.
If you look at, especially like with Marvel, like they have like you can look at the family tree of stuff, and like it's all there for you, and it's like crazy. Well, because some of the people are from the future, and some are from the past.
Well, we were talking about like Legion, who's Professor X's.
Don't spoil it. Yeah, spoil it.
Well, that's in the comic books.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad about it. That's been in the comics for.
What is Legion again? Is this
it's a show that's out, but it's about a mutant.
Yeah,
so it's in the X-Men universe.
Spoiler.
Okay.
So there's a spoiler there, but it was in the comics like years ago.
Yeah.
It's like people spoiling Game of Thrones books that were published 15 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
Like, shut up.
Well, they're all like, I didn't know who he was until I like looked at his Wikipedia page, but it's like, oh, okay, well, that's what this is. But I'm sure it's going to be a plot point anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different telling.
It's still enjoyable.
Sure.
I mean, spoilers, I only give a shit about spoilers if I'm about to watch it and if it's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know, if it's the whole point of the thing.
And it's definitely not the whole point.
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I want to pitch an idea to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had this thought. Imagine, you know the movie Toy Story?
Yes.
Now imagine the sequels don't happen. Okay. This is my pitch for Toy Story 2. Okay. So one day, they're goofing around in Andy's bedroom. Buzz is up high and he trips and he falls, takes a very hard...
my friend and holding hands, and this is a song from Toy Story.
He takes a hard fall.
Yes.
And the jetpack breaks off his back. Ooh. And for the first time they catch a glimpse of the like bare plasticky skin. And there's a strange mark, like a strange almost
What do you mean bare plasticky skin? Wait.
I
Wait,
mean, like, his back is under there. And
so you think that...
hold on, let me just finish.
Okay.
All right, so he's got this mark on him, and it's very alien, and almost Lovecraftian, like, simple, but it looks like it was almost burned onto his back. Okay. And Woody looks horrified upon seeing this, and Buzz is like, "What's wrong, Woody? Everything's fine. I can put these wings back on."
Yeah, yeah.
And Woody's like, "It's not. It's just that mark. I've seen it somewhere before." And he lifts up his shirt, and he's got the exact same mark on his stomach. And then, as they're talking about this, all the other toys come in, and they're like, a lot of them have discovered this exact mark, like a brand. Mm-hmm. And they realize...
I've not seen this before, though.
Well, they had never put it together because
they were
always
ashamed.
hidden. They were always hidden somewhere.
Okay.
You know, like the piggy bank, it's like inside the plug. You know what I mean?
You got to get someone in his stomach to look at it.
Yeah, and they go on it's like a mystery. They're trying to solve the mystery of this mark. And they find out that not all toys are animated like this. Mm-hmm. There's an evil wizard who has branded all these toys and cursed them. Gargamel.
Yeah.
Gargamel. Sorrel.
And
Sorrel.
Yeah, and they go and they hunt down the wizard.
They hunt him down?
Yeah, and they force him to make all the toys alive in the whole world. And then the world turns into small soldiers.
And then it's a smooth transition into small soldiers.
And then the toys take over and humans are all killed off.
But what does Woody do in all this? Is he just
called...
He's the president.
Is he just a...
third one is called
conscious...
Toy World.
Conscientious.
Yeah.
Woody's like the president, and then like Buzz is like the fucking military commander.
Yeah.
And Woody's just like sitting. It's like the Lincoln Monument.
No,
but Lincoln has been turned into Woody.
Yeah, but they don't even make him that big. If
they have a silent code.
They're all tiny anyways.
Yeah, but they grow. They make giant ones, and then they have mechs. The toys are riding in bigger toys.
They
and
keep
destroying.
They keep Andy around in a cage, and it cuts to him as an old man.
Never
He's
do that
been
to
in
Andy.
servitude, and he's the only human they kept alive because they feel like they are indebted.
They owe it to him. Yeah,
but he's actually more tortured now than he would have been.
Yeah, but they don't realize that.
They take a giant branding iron. That's the exact same symbol in the last scene. They brand Andy right in the back. And he's screaming.
Credits.
Yeah, credits.
The screams are the only sound over the credits. Just a black and white font. Just Andy screams.
Continues to 5.
And then
continues like 5 minutes of the
you
credits.
got a friend, like a eerie rendition of you got a friend.
Yeah.
You got a friend in me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We should make that, dude.
All right.
Not our best idea, I'd have to say.
I think it's great.
Pretty good one. It's up there with the Renegade Elephant.
Renegade Elephant. Thank you for reminding me of that.
So, what do you guys rate the Iron Giant?
I give it a strong Drew.
Strong Drew? I'm gonna give it a lowercase Drew. Like I recognize that this is a feat of animation, but I mean, maybe you're
not
12-year-old.
as
I'll show it to 12-year-old me, maybe 10-year-old me, hyped.
Well, I mean, I know we're in the middle of the rating system, but this is the first time you watched it. Like,
yeah, it is.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I was aware of it. You know, I've seen some stuff. Probably seen some scenes on Cartoon
But you didn't
Network.
see the end, though, did you?
No, I didn't know the end.
That's awesome.
I'm
glad you did get to feel
like I knew
that end.
You said, Michael, last time that we were gonna cry or something, and I kind of just from knowing what the setup is, a boy.
I do cry every single time.
Every time, still.
Every time.
I get watery eyes.
Man.
Dude, that's
I could probably, if I break it up, I'm sure I could.
That's great.
This movie is great lesson in like watching the movie from start to finish without distractions. Like, if I were to break it up into 20-minute segments, I could probably dull the emotional impact.
Yeah. But it's so short.
Be disconnected.
I do appreciate a concise. I don't like when movies are. If this movie were 2 hours long, it wouldn't have needed to be 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I like movies that are an hour and a half long. I like that. Like, I feel like if you're working within a form, you know, I think a movie, not like a film and movie, we've talked about different, whatever, movie, it should be an hour and a half, you know? And I feel like this is exactly, it hits so many different, I give it a Drew, but I give it a Drew. Well. A capital Drew if you're watching it with a kid or you are a kid.
I give it a Drew. I think the movie's very going along the same line, like how short it is. It's very efficient, like great storytelling that isn't very common. Every single scene fills so many different niches. There's like it can be funny, it's going to characterize, and it'll drive the plot forward.
Exactly. That is so
that's
hard to do.
Yeah.
To be funny and entertaining while also moving the story forward.
Yeah.
Because most movies have to take, like a detour to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Just to, like, add something to make you laugh. And then we go back to the story. Instead of having that same laugh push it forward, which is
It really
so hard
uses
to
the
do.
fucking Spielberg, like, model.
Yeah.
This movie.
I mean, Brad Bird, I guarantee you.
I mean,
grew
so
up
many
watching.
people that
Loving
end up making movies that are fucking alien comes to Earth and a boy has to. I mean, it's fucking E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But even if it's not E.T., like you're still even if you're not pulling from him, you're pulling from it. You know, just you can't help it now.
Fun fact, in the movie Incredibles, which he directed, the character Syndrome, the evil villain, modeled
Jason
to
Lee?
look exactly like Brad Bird. Not exactly, like the shape is obviously
Oh,
way
yeah,
different.
that's funny.
But the facial
Yeah.
like gestures and like the overall look and feel of the character is Brad Bird.
So
Interesting.
Brad Bird has directed not that many full-length films, but he has done. This is his first, The Iron Giant, The Incredibles, Ratatouille, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol,
Yeah.
Tomorrowland,
First live action.
and then there's 2 upcoming films, 1906, which I know nothing about, and The Incredibles 2.
Interesting.
But I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to them both.
I should have watched. I'm looking forward to Incredibles too. I'm interested to see what that ends up being. I need to see Tomorrowland. I feel like because I remember that coming out and
I heard not
and
good things.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like what was happening just looked
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
touching the ring and going to.
Well, what was it?
Have you guys
just
seen
all the
Midnight
shit.
Special?
No.
No, I still haven't seen it.
That's great. I'm not going to ruin anything.
Midnight
about
Special,
it, but
okay.
It's awesome.
I might purchase it.
Awesome.
Let's try to find it at your half price books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it's time.
Wait, Michael, you gave it a Drew?
I do give it a
3D.
Triple D's all around.
No.
I must have failing grade elsewhere.
I don't know, man.
All right.
Just
Well,
have to make some sounds.
I got the movie right. I think I got it very fast too last week.
First.
You did.
First
I mean,
clue.
I kind of knew you were gonna do.
I
said
do.
it.
I love it, and it's been on my mind recently. So
Yeah,
it's easy. All right. So this film,
Time for what?
Quiz. All right. Gotta get that in there.
it came out like 8 days before I was born. So July 1st, 1987.
Okay.
Is it dangerous to give out your birthday on the internet?
No, dude.
I don't know
they
what
can find
giving out your
it.
birthday. Would
Anybody can find it,
Oh,
no
okay.
matter what.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
even
what
need
about
to-
social security numbers?
You
Don't
might as
do
well
that.
give it out because it's already attached to your Facebook. Everybody knows that when you sign up for Facebook,
is
they ask
my-
for your social security
Well,
numbers. Yeah, they didn't.
I
You're
made
not
it my
secured, then
Facebook-
mine is.
I made it my Facebook profile picture.
Yeah.
Is this my?
Your numbers.
It's also my password to my shit is my social security number.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. What's that
It-
clue? Where's
this
that
is
clue
like
at?
a goofy sci-fi film. So from '87, 2 of the stars in the film ended up getting married later on.
What? Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Is this Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
That did not come out in '87.
I know,
saw that when I
I know.
was in high school.
I know.
Gross.
I hated that movie.
I was
too.
like, I
It was
was
a bad one.
That's not a good movie.
87. Married.
It stars
Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh.
no,
Is it Look Who's Talking?
no, Think more science fiction.
Okay.
Like really, this is not misleading to
Okay.
consider it sci-fi.
Okay. Star Trek.
One of the male leads is known for his comedic acting.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one's more dramatic, I'd say.
Is it? It's a what was the genre? Comedy,
said
sci-fi.
Sci-fi and then some goofs.
Some good.
Yeah, some pretty.
Lost in Space.
No.
No.
Whenever I think of sci-fi, I only think of space.
The
Always.
film shares some thematic elements with a ride at Disney World where you are in
Indiana
Pirates of the
Jones.
Caribbean. Shit.
where you are in a virtual ship
Tron.
that is shrunk down.
Inner Space.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn you! You had all the rides in your head. I had no idea.
And Inner Space is not a ride. I got it.
Inner Space is not a ride.
Inner Space, no.
No, but there's a ride just
Martin
like
Short and fucking they go inside the guys.
Yeah. Inner
Oh, Martin
Space.
Short?
It's Martin Short.
Fuck yeah.
And
We
just
Dennis
watched the Steve
Quaid
Martin.
and Meg Ryan. Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan got married a couple years later. Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
I
was thinking of Look Who's Talking. Was it Kirstie Alley and Ted Danson? Did they get married?
No.
And I was also thinking of
Ted Danson probably would not marry her because he was a Scientologist.
Oh, really?
Kirstie Alley was.
Alley
Interesting.
still is. She's
Wow.
crazy.
I was also thinking
she's
of
definitely crazy.
Danny
Yeah.
DeVito and what's her name, Rhea Perlman.
Oh yeah,
was
they're
thinking
still
of them.
married.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. I love
alright.
hearing about they just like funny people.
Comedy duos that
Yeah.
are married.
Now,
Or
whenever I
happily
hear
married.
about Scientology, I immediately think of the movie The Master, which I saw last year. Mm-hmm.
I still need to see that.
Cannot.
Oh,
Whoa!
shit, you scared me, dog.
I guess we've had a fourth host this whole time.
Yeah,
He's been luckily very quiet the whole show up until right now.
we're lucky
he's
that
annoyed
this
with
is
us
just
now.
now.
We're about done.
We did
Mailman might be here or something.
Oh.
maybe.
Hey Wally.
Isn't that a bit redundant?
yeah,
Mailman.
it's been done.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
old.
Hey guys,
that's
how do you
old
like my
hat.
dog impression?
That's a good. Wow.
That's pretty good, right?
Oh.
All right. Well,
You
Inner
do
Space.
you do look funny.
You look like a bitch. Sorry, that's a male dog. Doesn't really count.
What a great joke.
All
All
right.
right, Inner Space next week.
Inner
Space next week.
Coming at you.
Look, do it on iTunes, do it on YouTube, do it on Instagram,
Instagram.
do it on
Do it wherever you can.
wherever you
Yeah,
can.
do it in a church.
Do it on YouTube, do it on iTunes, do it on Instagram, wherever you can.
All right.
It's the Hair Club.
Andrew, have you seen this?
What?
Have you seen this movie?
No, not at all.
Oh man.
It's got Martin Short on it.
I think it's on Netflix right now.
It's on Netflix?
It might be on Netflix or I watched it on a streaming service. So you might maybe Amazon or something. Yeah.
I got my ways. I have my ways.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.